Okay, good morning, guys. It's Saturday over here. The week is done. Very interesting trading week. I'll get to the metals and the miners later. We'll just take a quick look at commodities. And we had NFP report yesterday, a nice Goldilocks number. The dollar, for me, I thought resistance was between 104 and 104.5. We haven't hit 104.5 yet, and well, we did actually have resistance at 104 because look at the next day here on Thursday, we had this big drop, but we picked up because of the NFP report. So for now, it's a little indecisive. I do think we may rise a little higher because the close wasn't amazing, but we did pop our head a little higher than the last 2 days. So Friday was, a day where the dollar ventured a little higher than it did at any other point during the week. So I just feel like it warrants maybe a little test of 104.5, and hopefully we close below 104.5. We don't close above these tails up here. Otherwise, maybe we start venturing into 105 territory and we just want to see the dollar. I want to see the dollar come back down. And actually, this support level now changes to here. So for me, we've got this wide range, or somewhat wide range here, this channel we're trading between. So next week, maybe we test both sides. Maybe we just venture a little higher early on the week. So Monday, Tuesday, maybe we test 104.5, hopefully have a bit of a weak close, and then venture lower. That would be good. But for me, support is 102.5. It used to be 103, but maybe intraday 103 could be a nice level to bounce from, but 102.5. And then below that 102, really nice round number. Also, previous support, just a little few months ago, maybe. And then after that, it gets back to the old level of support, the long term, bit of a long term level of support, pretty much at 101, 100.8. I remember those numbers. And then obviously we to the absolute lows that we put in a few months ago, just under 100. So before we get there, let's see if we can close below 102.5. But yeah, next week I expect a bit of a range bound trading starting off on the upper side. So that's the dollar, no crazy moves this week. But again, we've bounced from this 102.5 after coming lower. So the trend, the more recent trend is lower. But anyway, let's see what happens there. So let's move on to commodities. Now for commodities, I'll start off very quickly with copper as usual. Not that exciting. I mean, we ventured all the way up here, 3.9, came back down. This week we really came back down and tested the prior resistance. Very nice technical adherence there. So 3.72, and we had a bit of a bounce. So, we end up pretty much in the middle of the channel. So we hit resistance, we came down and bounced off support. Perfect technical stuff. So now we're in the middle. Let's see. Obviously, copper depends very much on the dollar and the markets. The markets have just stayed flagging higher. I think the day for them to flush is any moment, but everyone says that. Natural gas, okay, this is just ridiculous, but we really are at double lines of support, and we've started to see a bit of a bounce. So number one, look at this ascending. I never thought we'd retest it, but to be honest, I should have known better. Natural gas just always comes back down until it squeezes. But look at this, all the way back down, testing pretty much 2.5. 2.5 was also the support zone all the way back here multiple times, at least 4 times. A few times where it ventured below intraday. A lot of people probably got stopped out, but look where it closes, just at the 2.5 level. And on this day here, also just at 2.5. So we have this double support zone. It really should bounce. It's also come down non-stop. So oversold stuff, I really would expect now a bounce. And then I actually added to my natural gas stock, but my natural gas stock itself has gone through some refurbishment. It just absolutely got destroyed. I'll talk about that one. Maybe it's Trillion Energy. I really believed in that one. It got smashed, but I did buy the bounce very nicely. So that cushioned a lot of the losses. But I actually added to that one where the symbol is TRLEF in case you're interested. Anyway, and that one should actually bounce with natural gas itself, even though it went down on its own micro economic news. But anyway, natural gas should bounce, and if it closes above this descending, this is my favorite type of trend line to play. So I'd expect to move all the way to 2.7, and then a bit of sideways, and then once it closes above, and I think it will, it should run to the next level, which to be honest should be 3. Look at this. It was resistance, so I'd expect it to be support. Maybe it's 2.95 or something. I don't know. But I think we're going to bounce all the way up here, at least. That's natural gas. Let's look at oil. Oil came back. Okay. I mean, I did make a little video on this day and thought, right, it's already surprising, but it could go lower. I'd say absolute support. I said absolute support was 67. We didn't go there. We went to 69. I don't really know why 69 was a bounce zone. Maybe there was some 50 moving average or something, but which I've stopped adding to my charts. But anyway, we clearly bounced from 69, which is okay. I think there was some SPR news, the US wants to refill it, and it should. Down here, it's lucky to get it all the way down here. So good trading by the US Department of Energy or something. But that was just a news report. I don't know if they actually did it. But look, next resistance, let's imagine we keep going up, should be prior support. I guess that would mean 72, 73, but that's really close, and I'd expect a bigger move up. Next move up, really the next level of resistance should be 78-ish, I would say. And after that, 80, big round number, also the top tails of these two, and should coincide with descending. So I'll actually add a line. I don't like to add lines, prefer to remove them, but on the way up, I see that. So 1, 2, 3. On the way down, I'm not going to add anything because I've already got this, what should be a super strong level of support. So that's oil. Very surprised at the drop, really very surprised. But I think oil is a very big market, lots of players, lots of elements to it. So there you go. Uranium, no surprise there, just more sideways action. I know there are some 3% moves now and then, but pretty much sideways up. If I zoom out, I don't see any change in trend. If it goes down, it's got nice support. I don't see that happening. And if it just grinds sideways and up, we should go to 31.5. That's all I'm going to say about uranium. You know what? I'm going to start covering platinum and palladium because I bought an extra stock, SPSW, and that trades on these two. Platinum just grinding sideways. So, I mean, it's been doing this for months and months. Look at the range over here. So I'm going to stick with very, very vague coverage of platinum for now, but you can see the support levels, which we bounced off. Let's see, there should be resistance up here. This is a chart I edited a long time ago, so I've got a different type of line, but you can see the resistance line. I always like the descending one. Palladium, also, I mean, look at this. This is wild stuff. This is the March 2020 low that we tested and that we've been flushed below for some time. But look, now we're reaching like a new level of absolute lows. I mean, we're not there yet, but I don't think we should get there. Look at this level down here, 900, and even this one here, 800 and let's say 30. I don't think we get there. I don't know the market too well, but I'll get to know it. But look at this. I think, yeah, it could go lower, definitely. But as soon as we take out this descending, we close above it, it should squeeze for a few weeks. And I like the look of that chart. And this is a commodity. This isn't some, crappy junior stock. So I bought SBSW. I'll get to that in my portfolio update. That's more of a platinum palladium stock. It's my first real one. So, but the stock really looks like this type of chart. So even more so, just coiled, ready to spring. So that's why I'm starting to cover platinum and palladium. Okay, gold and silver. So gold's come down. I thought 2010 would be resistance and therefore support, which it was for one day. And even yesterday, I think it bounced on 2010 Friday just for a few moments. But here you could tell it was really 2000. Well, 2000 wasn't even really support because it actually ventured below that. But where do we close? We closed above 2000, so that's good. So I'm going to move this down to 2000 now. Just keep it nice and general. So, and sticking with a general evaluation of the technicals. For me, you have this zone of support. So roughly, right, it could go all the way down to here, even there, 1930, 1940, 1950. All right, let's keep it pretty vague. I'm just going to leave my trend line roughly in the middle. So let's call it 1940. I don't see clear support until 1940. Strong support, I don't see it. This ascending, by the way, is also kind of been breached. I had that just yesterday intraday, but that allows us to keep it even more simple. So we're at a level now, 2000 roughly. Obviously, yesterday's low, Friday's low, 1995 will be the real support if we do venture below it, but pretty much 2000. If we start to venture much lower and close below 1990, I think we'd have to start looking at 1940-ish. And below that, there's this ascending support, which we're far from having to consider that. But You know, think of what we just did. We just came from basically 1800 all the way, made new historic highs in every currency, 2150. Remember when we were down here, people were starting to look lower, including me. What's next? You know, 17. So that's, you know, you're allowed a massive retracement. And this, on the day that this happened, this popped to 2150. There was a huge bearish engulfing. Now, for me, I thought we were going to retest pretty soon after. We failed, and that's not too surprising because it was a massive bearish engulfing. It just needs time to recover. And maybe even coming down to 1940, still extremely bullish stuff. It's still part of a general curl, right? Zoom out, where are we? You know what I mean? Look, we just did a quadruple breakout. We did, but it was just too early. You know, we came from here. We need to rest and then do it, but we're going to do it. This is going to go up. This is going to be a 2,500 next year and all that stuff. I really, really believe that. And it could happen sooner than I think. But, you know, if we don't hold 2000, it'll be 1940 and then we can bounce. And then 2000 becomes resistance. But for now, let's just consider us just resting at a particular level. On the way up, it's not as obvious now. I mean, 2040, that wasn't a level before, but it could be now. Just look at the daily tops there. 2050 isn't really a level it used to be. So it was relevant here during the breakout here. But now I would actually be more inclined to say 2040 the level. If we close above 2040, the next level is, yeah, I think it's still 2080. Because look, it was a high here and there's also the open here. 2070 rather. So I'm going to put these two levels on the way up. If we start to bounce 2040 and then 2070, 2075, let's say. And then after that, obviously the absolute high, but we don't care about that because I think once we close above 2080, we're going to test that the next day. And then let's see if we close above it. So that's gold. Let's look at silver. Now, silver, look at that. That's come down a lot more than gold. All right, let's delete that. That's not relevant. So on the way down, what do we have? We have the last real support zone, and it's always a bit rough down here. And there used to be some trend lines that really worked, and then they got breached. So bear with me. I think it's 22.25-ish, right? So where this level is here. You can see the past lines. They're not as relevant as the more recent ones, but recently we also had this test here, the open and the close roughly there. Also the next day, this tail. Okay, that coincides with this one. I remember that. So I'm going to leave these two on the way down. I'd be very surprised if we come all the way down here. No, I wouldn't actually. If gold flushes more, gold starts to go in the 1980s and all that, silver will do like it's done here. It's just completely outperform on the way down, and it could really test this, which is really disappointing because we had something going on here. You know, we had a nice bond going on over here with silver. The retest here, the technicals were also quite in line, but it is what it is. We're down here, so this is the first level. This is the second level. If we flush, which again, like gold's ascending, I think we're far from testing that, but we should have very strong support down here. 21, I think by then. You know, it'll take a few days. There'll be a few bounces. Just imagine it'd be in line with the sort of open and close of the candles here, forget the tails, and also this ascending. So I think 21 and a big round number should be very strong support for silver, but I don't think we're going to get there, at least not yet. On the way up, well, 25 is a big round number, but you don't really see the resistance here. I mean, it counted here, but I'm more inclined to say on the way up, no, I'm going to leave it for now. 25 and 26, keep it simple. Keep it simple. So there you go. That's gold and silver, big retracement. Now on the miners, it's the last thing I'm going to cover here. I don't think they're that bad. And that's, for me, that's what counts. I'm looking at the miners because I've added heavy to my miners. I added the last 2-3 days to my miners, so they're underwater, but ever so slightly. But my decision to add to the miners was like a strategic long-term decision. I decided to no longer, it's a habit, you know, no longer trim just at the technical levels. I still had one or two. I can't help myself. But overall, I actually added on this move up rather than take away. So, and that's different. That's a shift in my mindset. I think that this run in gold and silver is going to happen. I really think that this retracement is actually what I wanted because I added more. And if we look at the GDXJ, just real quick, look at this retest. Remember 36 was the big number, just like 30 was the big number for GDX. This was the resistance we were looking for. Let's close above it. Well, look, we've come down not that much, given what especially silver's done, because GDXJ really cares about silver more than gold. So I don't think this retracement is that bad. I mean, how much of a percentage move from the absolute peak? Not even 10%. That's really and that's from the absolute top. The real top I'd say is over here. So pretty. I don't want to say outperforming, but I'm impressed with how little it's dropped, and it bounced perfectly off 36 GDXJ. So next level is even simpler than the underlying metal. I'm just going to keep it like this. Actually, I'll raise it up here. So, obviously 36 is a level that's worked. If we bounce, then up we go. Maybe this level there'll be a bit of resistance because that's where the candles were finding resistance. But otherwise 39.5 and really 40. There's no resistance at 40, but it's a big round number. So if it is going to test up here, I'd prefer it to close above. Well, 39.50 would be good, but 40. Let's close above 40 on the next pump. That'd be great. I think the miners are outperforming the metals, and I'd like that confirmation on the way up. So that's GDXJ. We'll take a look at GDX. I'll just add this line. Okay. Actually, no. Let's talk about the drop. If we do drop, then this line will come in play. Just realized I didn't talk about the drop, and I really should. All the way down here on this ascending, which probably coincide with this level here. So 34 is what I'd be looking for. Maybe this gap. I don't know. Depends how much I'd probably be looking at gold and silver more, but I'm really going to be buying the drop too because I've made a decision that I think it's on. The inflation, the run in the metals, I think it's really going to happen. This is okay. GDX also bounced, but 30 the 30 level on GDX equated to the 36 level on GDXJ. Now we've come a bit low. I did add this line just before the video, but it's a bit of a desperate line. It doesn't need to be there. I just feel like the GDXJ outperformed the GDX surprisingly because, I mean, the GDX probably moved down less. Yeah, 7% compared to GDXJ, which is 8, 8.5, 9. But that's still outperformance because GDXJ should be down way more if that's how much GDX. I mean, GDX is down 7%. You'd expect GDXJ to be down 10, 11%. So I think the GDXJ is outperforming. And look, the GDX went below 30, which was its 36 level for the GDXJ. So, down we go. We've got this little gap. Maybe that does get filled if we keep, well, it will get filled if there's more of a flush in the metals. But if we keep going lower, it'll be these two candles again, which should coincide with the ascending. So I think they're pretty much in line. And for that reason, I still think GDXJ is outperforming because normally, if the GDX was to come down here, GDXJ should be like there. So I do like maybe I'm micro analyzing a bit too much, but I do like the action in the miners. I think they are very subtly outperforming the metals, and that's also a sign that it's a bit of a bull run coming. But the fact that silver's underperforming gold, that contradicts that a bit. So let's not overanalyze. That's what the lines are for. But I like what I've seen. I've added on this drop, and obviously the prices are a little lower than when I added, but very little. It doesn't even matter. But I've made a sort of longer term strategic decision to just buy and hold overall. I can't help myself from trimming when I see trend lines sometimes on individual stocks, but I really think that we're gonna run. I just feel it, and obviously need the dollar to come down, but I don't care. I'm just ready to buy and hold some of these senior ones. I'll go through my portfolio update now, but when you're buying some good new monster, Nico Eagles, Barrett Gold, Pan American Silver, and others like Franco Nevada, by the way, have you seen that stock? I'm going to talk about that. I added to that. They're just good stocks. Like I have no worries holding those. So risk management is involved. Anyway, that was a quick commodity update. I'm going to try and cover platinum and palladium in a bit more detail. Today was really a small intro. So I might cover a larger variety of commodities. And I might make a lot more shorter videos. This one is a bit long. Sorry about that. But anyway, enjoy your weekend.